7 years ago, my business was in a lot of trouble and my love life was a complete mess. So I moved to Vietnam and rebuilt my life. Life is feeling stable and prosperous, and looking back, I can see that Vietnam was the perfect place to go through a personal reinvention. I'm going to share with you 7 reasons why in this video. If you're in a stage of your life where you are rethinking, reconfiguring your life, you might be frustrated, disillusioned with some things going on, I just think this is a wonderful environment to come to when you've got that kind of open mind about how you can live your life and what you can change, because there are certain attributes here, certain elements that are really conducive to recalibrating your life. So I'm going to take you through those 7 reasons. I'm also going to go and visit my mother. She's visiting at the moment, and my brother. He lives here. They're having breakfast. So I'm going to go and see them and show you a little bit of the streets of Saigon along the way and take you through these 7 key reasons. The first reason is that it is pretty cheap in Vietnam. For me, that was essential while I was rebuilding the businesses, restructuring things. I needed the low cost of living. But I don't want to dwell on this too much because I reckon that there's a danger in always focusing on the low cost. And I see it a lot with a lot of the expats here, where everyone focuses so much on the cost of everything that you lose a sense of the value of things. And there's just so much richness here in Vietnam, in Saigon. There's just so much wonderful things that I don't think we should always focus on money all the time. There's a real danger there, but having said that, I just have to admit that for me, I really needed the low cost of living here. It is a lot cheaper, and that really does help to restructure your life. The thing is, the low cost of living helped me to stop thinking so much about money all the time. And this led to the next big reason why Vietnam was so important for my personal reinvention. Living in Vietnam helped me escape the relentless materialism of the West. In Los Angeles, I was constantly surrounded by big dreams and consumerism, which led me to lose sight of what truly mattered. In Vietnam, people are less focused on accumulating possessions and chasing grandiose dreams. The practical, grounded approach to life here helped me reconnect with my core values and find contentment beyond material wealth. Of course, the reality is that there are a lot of economic opportunities in an emerging economy like Vietnam. It's something my brother Lachlan has been embracing.
Yeah, I reckon Saigon is an awesome place to come and reinvent yourself. I came here 7 years ago, got married to a Vietnamese woman. It's really amazing how everything has just grown so quickly. Like the city actually looks way different than when I first came. All these new buildings. There's lots of opportunity here, especially if you want to make money, because it's a developing economy. So things are growing really fast. My wife and I bought a few apartments here and they've already risen in value. Yeah, I reckon come here and reap the rewards of a growing economy.
The next thing is the humble and real people. Good job. It really extends to just everyone here. Wow. Crazy. But yeah, humble and real people. I've actually got this theory about it, and it's around in the West, because we've had so many generations of economic development. Like earlier on, when there's less economic opportunity in society, our decisions are more conditioned to do whatever we can, to be practical, to just move forward quickly, to not think so much. Whereas with all of this economic development that's happened in the West, we've got so many more options, which of course is a good thing, and we need that. But with so many more options at our disposal, we end up thinking a lot more about who we are. We construct more complex identities for ourselves. And again, there's a lot of opportunity in that. That can be a wonderful thing. But it can also result in a lot of kind of malaise, like a lot of very stuck energy. We end up overthinking who we are. Whereas here in Vietnam, I get this feeling that it's going through this economic renaissance, like a huge amount of opportunity going on. People are taking charge of their lives, moving forward quickly. And the result is that people are real doers here. They're not thinking so much about who they are and constructing these elaborate identities. People are really focused on moving forward in life, and there's a realness to it, an authenticity. a kind of simplicity to the people here. Huge generalization, of course, but that's the feeling I get. And just everyone's just so happy all the time. And it's just so refreshing to be here. I absolutely love it. You'll see it in just a moment once we arrive at this next cafe. I really get the feeling of a genuine lack of entitlement here in Vietnam. I think it's because people are really grateful for the economic opportunities that are happening here. There's a lot of rapid development going on. People seem hungry to take advantage of it. There's also this culture of respect for your elders, and also a collectivist culture where it's not so much about yourself, but it's very much about the community. So those things combined, respect for elders as well as looking out for each other, I think makes people really here to help each other. And when you combine that with that hungry for economic opportunities, it's rarely about yourself. It's very much about getting ahead and doing it through helping others. And it translates to a real feeling of a lack of entitlement from people all around you. Actually, being surrounded by the collectivist culture of Vietnam resulted in one of my biggest personal growth insights. I realized that the Western culture encourages us to be individualistic. There are positives to this, like figuring out your personal identity, what makes you unique. But there's a hidden downside. The downside is that when you think you're unique, you believe you're uniquely alone in facing your problems. But when you let go of this feeling of being unique, you can see that many more people are facing similar problems that you are. And it encourages you to build more meaningful relationships based on shared challenges, common purposes. While living in Vietnam, I gave up on this need to define who I am as different to people around me and started to see what I have in common, not just with a few people, but with most people. It was a key part of becoming a more down-to-earth and grounded person. There's another really unusual benefit of Vietnam for personal reinvention, and that is that this is a really chaotic place. Now, I'm in Saigon, and you go out into the streets of Saigon, it's total chaos. There's traffic coming from all directions, lots of honking on the horn. It's a very different way of doing traffic where we're so used to, I know in many Western countries, it's very rules-based. It's very clear and logical to follow. Green lights, red lights, stop, give people the right of way. Here, it's kind of like the traffic all just merges in together. And they're all looking out for each other, going much more slowly than you expect. It's actually really safe once you learn how it all works, but it's totally chaotic. It's densely populated. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, just District 4 just over here, but it's really densely populated. I'm really lucky living here. This is a more quiet area, but it's full on here. Before I tell you about the final reason why Vietnam was so key for me, I want to take note of something important about personal reinvention. For me, Vietnam was the environment I needed to let go of this need to be so individualistic, to not lose myself in my grandiose dreams. It was the place where I learned how to dream big, but in a much more grounded way. This is what helped me to reinvent myself, rebuild my businesses, move to Singapore with a home also in Saigon, still being true to my nature by embracing a nomadic life. But I also benefited from Out of the Box, the online course by the shaman Huda Yande. This program helped me reconnect with my true nature, develop inner strength, and reshape my reality. It was these teachings that helped me to ground so many of the lessons I was learning while being in this wonderful environment of Vietnam. The final reason for me is the strong family structure here in Vietnam. I love that about Vietnam. They're very focused on family. People look after their parents, their grandparents, and so on. They're very connected, they're very loyal. In my own life, that was really important for me to be part of this environment. I've always been close with my family, but it certainly encouraged me to retain those strong ties with my parents back in Australia, to visit regularly. They come and visit here regularly. I built the Singapore company with my two brothers, and we've really enjoyed working together, growing things together. And also I think being part of this kind of structure where family is just so important and really encouraged. What the hell? Hey buddy, come here, come here. Come on. Okay. Well, he was really brave running up to me before they were yelling. As soon as I faced him, he didn't want to come up to me. Yeah, just love being part of this family environment. It's encouraged me to be even more family oriented. I think that's just a wonderful thing. And for all of us, it's not necessarily about the family we grow up with. We can cultivate family ties. I mean, I've got my really close friend Huda Yande, who I spoke about before with his online course. We host that on thevessel.io. We created that company together. And I just think being part of this Vietnamese environment where family is so important, it has certainly encouraged me to be more like that, to cultivate these close friendships and long-term family connections. But of course, while I've been here, I've been single for most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time. And if you've been watching any of these videos, you might have seen a series of videos along the way about being single, embracing being single. So I'd love you to check that out, knowing what you know now about why Vietnam's so important to me. Because also, Vietnam's strong focus on family, I think, has caused me to re-evaluate my own desire to be single. So I feel like I'm going through a lot of shifts in life right now, and I'm opening myself up in different ways, and spending time regularly here in Vietnam is a huge part of that. So the next video that I'm about to create is going to focus on why being in Vietnam caused me to re-evaluate my desire to be single. So if you want to watch that video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because then it'll pop up in your feed. Thanks for being here. Please share your feedback below. I hope to get to know you in the comments.